Hello there, it's Gracie. Welcome to a new video on my Handmade Flower series here on YouTube. Today's video is sponsored in part by Kathy from Stamps and Scrapbooks. She has a great Stampin' Up! Store and she ships 24/7, which is a great thing. And I invite you to go check out her store afterwards. She provided me with some great tools and accessories to play with for today's technique. Let's get started. Today's technique is all about scored flowers, and I'll be using die cuts, flower die cuts. You can use flower punches, punch flowers, sorry. And I'm using also cardstock flowers, okay? So first thing I'm gonna do is spray them with water. I use some scraps to make my flowers. That's why they are stamped on the other side, but that's okay. And the first thing we're going to do, which is the basic step, is grab the scoring tool from Stampin' Up! Or the Simply Scored stylus from Stampin' Up! And I'm going to use the smaller point here and just run it through the center of the petal inwards. And that's about it. So see what happens when I just scored it inwards. The flower simply starts curling, and that's such a nice effect. I'll do it again for you to see. Okay, sometimes you need to help yourself with your fingers. Okay. And it doesn't have to be perfectly straight. It can go a little bit curvy, and that's okay. But you're left with beautiful curled petals, and all it took was a simple score line. Just like that, okay? What I like too is that the line that you create with the stylus actually looks like a vein, a natural flower vein. And so I'll try it out too with a different shape of die cut for you to see. This one has shorter petals, and I'm using plain water, and I'm just scoring it inwards. See what happens? And this is not a complicated technique, but I find it very nice and useful, especially when we're making cards in a rush and we need nice flowers. I think this is a nice technique to go to when that happens. Okay, so this is how it looks, right? And what I find too is that when those edges are distressed, the flowers turn out prettier too. You can add more score lines to the petal. I've decided to use only one score line. That adds to the simplicity of the technique, but it also creates nice flowers that look great once they're put together. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and shape the rest of my flowers to show you how they look in the end. Okay, so here are my flowers. I already put them together, and you can see how nice, delicate, and full of texture these flowers look. This one on the right looks even more layered. It is more layered, yes, but that effect looks so delicate like that because of the shape of the petal. Rounder petals usually look more luscious on a flower. And then here is the other one. This one has more square petals, and so the edges are very flat, but they still look distressed and pretty. Also, another tip that I'm gonna give you is when you're scoring the line on the cardstock, on the petal, try to go till the center, and that will close a flower even more. And another thing too to keep in mind is that usually this technique makes flowers look even better when you use medium to smaller size flowers. And that is because of the simplistic, like a really simplistic technique. When you score just one line, if the petals are too large, it possibly won't curl as much. But if you use medium-sized to small-sized flowers, any technique you do with them usually looks better. That's just a little tip, but both flowers look great. And now I'm going to show you an unconventional way of coloring them. And this is something I tried out recently, but I had already done it for a mixed media project. So today I'm using pan pastels, and um, these are artist pastels. These are the kind that you use to color or to paint, to create a canvas. And so what I did is I mixed pink and also yellow, which is this one right here on the bottom. Sorry, let me try to, aquí está, right there, yellow. And you can actually, if you think it's too intense, you can actually go for white, which I also have, but I only used pink and yellow. These are very soft and they come with sponge applicators, but I'm using my fingers, and all I'm doing is going through with my fingers and just smudging the edges with color like that. These are very soft and I like them very much. They are very helpful. They create the prettiest backgrounds. And so what I did here is mix both of the colors to create a nice melon tone. And so I then applied some yellow like this, and see how it combines, it blends very nicely too. The colors blend well together, and not only the colors, but these pastels are made to blend very easily. And so what you do here by adding both of the tones is that you create an intermediate tone, which is sort of a melon color, a little orangey color, or something of the sort. And then I applied yellow on the center. Okay, so I could go on until I find that it looks great. I could actually go on and apply even more pastels. And you can mix the colors you like, as long as they are blendable and they create a nice intermediate hue. And so once they are colored completely, depending on what you like, I go ahead and in this case I need to pierce it, because this flower doesn't have a hole in this die cut doesn't include a hole like this other one does. And so I'm going to do that right now, and I'm using Stampin' Up's piercing tool, which is very easy to use. That's right, that's about it. Very easy to use. And I'm gonna use some gorgeous accessories, brads, that Kathy sent me. And I'm gonna show you two kinds. And I'm very much in love with these brads. These ones right here are the mini brads. They're in silver. They look beautiful in any kind, any size of flower. Very simple but very elegant. And then right here we have the antique brads, and these are one of my favorites. These ones are basically, they look like vintage buttons that I already collect, but I don't have this anything similar to this patterns that they have. And so what you do to finish the flower is just add any desired brad. And I'm using this ones because they are so cute. I'm gonna use one of the mini brads. Very easy to use. And you can find all of these supplies that I'm using today on stampsandscrapbooks.com. I strongly invite you to go visit the store, and I know you'll find wonderful accessories and tools, very affordable, most of them, that you can play with to make your flowers. And that's about it. I love how the flowers turn out, even though we didn't color this one, but they are very delicate. They all look very nice. And depending on the flower shape that you have or that you use, the result will vary. But you have to try it out with every flower you can and just find what you like the most. I'm going to show you now a project I made using this technique. So here is a card I made using this technique. These flowers were made following the same steps and also were colored with pen pastels. But I decided to add a little bit more yellow on the center using one of Ranger's ink sprays. I love the texture of these flowers. I also like the different effects that you can get varying the die cut or flower punch that you use. And this card right here was made actually for House of Cards challenge. We have a great inspiration color challenge this month, and that's the card that I made for the challenge. And I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. I invite you to check out Stampin' Up's products on Kathy's stampsandscrapbooks.com store. And also, if you want to know more details to this card, please click on the link on the description below. If you like this video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. And if you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe. Thanks so much for watching. See you again soon.